Taurus, hey, what is going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at your energy via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it, Taurus. Happy day, happy Aries season. We are in, well, not the tail end, but we're like midway through. We're coming up on a full moon in Libra. And full moons tend to amplify the energy. And here's the thing, in the collective, there's just been a lot of up and a lot of down. There's been a lot of heightened water and a lot of heightened fire. And those are kind of playing off of each other, right? The anger, the aggression, the frustration versus the emotions, the feelings, what is not going our way. Or if we're dealing with people situations that are not very grounded and having them pop off, etc. Feeling the feels, it's a little heavy, maybe a little bit of depression, sadness is overtaking you lately. It's pretty normal. It's partially this Mercury, Venus in retrograde. While I'm recording this, Mercury has since gone direct. We're still in the shadow period, but Venus will not go direct until the end of this week, actually. So it is really highlighting relationships and dynamics, things where it's not working and it needs a little bit of TLC. It needs some attention, some readjusting, revamping. And if it's not able to do that, then changes and adjustments need to be made. But we're kind of in this weird dynamic where there's a lot of hope, there's a lot of fantasy about how things can work out, and we need to really stay grounded in the practicality. What is happening in front of your face? What are people saying, doing, so that you can actually make your decisions accordingly. That's why I like to start off with these energy cleansings, just set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out any of that block limitation you might be coming into. It's a great time to set your own intention for the reading as well, especially if you come in with something on your heart, on your mind, something you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over, be open to receive. And I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing, wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, etc. Or if you're just looking for more of a rebalancing of your mind, body, soul, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. When we're operating from that space of groundedness, alignment, that's where we're our strongest. That's when we're actually going to choose things that honor our heart, our mind, our soul, that actually bring us happiness and fulfillment, which we all deserve. We all deserve in this life, right? So if you're interested in my services, I would be honored to love, support on you. Definitely hit me up. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. Sorry, this is falling apart. Let's see if we can get it in. All right, let's get into it, Taurus. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being, so we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit Guide, sorry it's hot, guardian angels, Mama Love, all over the place today, guys. Oh, man. All right, let me pick up the pieces. So it does kind of feel like there is something that you're dealing with this week, Taurus, that's kind of like falling apart. I feel like a lot of this is coming out of that intensity of energy that I was talking about, that vacillation back and forth between the fire element and the water element. And you're not really sure how all the pieces are going to shake out. I feel like you're in the process of this, is what I'm hearing. And I'm hearing this as like, it's like a form of deconstruction, right? Deconstruction to reconstruct. Spirit is dissembling things that have not really been working, that maybe they had their place 100% for a period of time, and now it's time to move on, or now it's time to evolve. Now it's time to go a little bit deeper. we've been getting this unconscious, that subconscious patterning has been popping up a lot lately. That really talks about why we're in the place that we are in the astrology. Things are being limited. Mars and Uranus, it's basically like this value of like, we're not going to bring you anything new, but you got to deal with what you have in front of you. You got to figure out ways to work out, sort through the things that are pissing you off, or the things that you kind of sweep under the rug, etc., so that you don't have to deal, you know? And some of this is about detachment. Some of this is about those places where you might be a little bit codependent on other people, on relationships, needing to kind of individualize yourself, if that's the right word, I don't know, but kind of creating some autonomy, right? Creating like, I think this is more about knowing who you are. I think that's like a lifelong discovery, a lifelong process, etc. But there's something about this where I feel like you've been a little bit too enmeshed or reliant on other people, other situations. I'm not saying this to harp on you. Please don't hear it as that. It's just kind of how the cards come through. And this is something that I feel like you're kind of familiar with. Like you kind of know, maybe you haven't 100% admitted it to yourself yet. Excuse me. Excuse me. But this is something that you're definitely like aware of on some capacity, because whatever this is, whatever is kind of crumbling or falling apart, you're like, oh, is that it? Is that why? You know, you kind of have these questions that are leading you in the right direction. But again, I'm not sure that you've completely like been honest with yourself to this point. It feels like you're just processing where this closure is happening. Someone took a different turn in the road, so to speak. Something that you were not really expecting, something that maybe leaves you hanging a little bit, you know, a relationship that you were more interested in pursuing. If this is love, this could just be someone saying like, hey, I want to be friends. They're looking at it from a different perspective than what you are. It looks like they're dealing with a lot. And I feel like you're kind of heartbroken around this, understandably so. Like you're not, 100%. You're not necessarily getting what you want. And I'm hearing that like this was something that was promised to you, or someone didn't give you any reason to think otherwise. So you had these ideas, expectations about how this was going to all shake out. And now it looks like I was saying, like they took a different turn. They took a different approach. They might have a lot of excuses as to why they chose to do this. I don't know if you necessarily believe them. I think you're in the pain, like you're in the hurts a lot right now, and just kind of trying to sort through it. But this goes back to this unconscious patterning that we saw pop up earlier, where it's like Spirit really just wants you to kind of go back through and understand the process. What were the steps that got you to this place? Why did you make certain decisions? Where were the red flags? Where was your intuition being like, hey, you know, and here's the thing. I'm not saying this was a bad choice, a bad decision, because it got you to the next place, i.e. definitely that stepping stone energy, right? But now that things are coming to a close, I think it feels a little bit hurtful. Hurtful. Like you're hurt about this, you're hurt about the promises. And it's not like this person saying like screw you per se, but they're kind of more in this vibe of like, I feel like, or this is where it's coming across for you, like you feel like they're trying to appease you. Like they're just saying let's be friends as like one of those comments to kind of get you off their back, or to appease you for a few minutes so they can kind of not strategically move away, but I do feel like there is there is just like a divide. There's a divide that's happening, a wedge, and it does feel like it's going to continue to grow. And even though it doesn't feel good, even though it doesn't feel comfortable, it is important for your own autonomy. It is important for your own independence, for you to connect with yourself and know who you are, right? And I think some of this connection is going to reveal why this feels so triggering, why it feels unfair, why it feels like I don't know if you feel like you were done wrong, but it is a little bit out of left field. It does kind of feel like, well, what happened? Like I'm hearing it as like it was fine 1 minute and then now it's not. And it doesn't even like not look fine. It just looks like someone's making some excuses or backtracking on what they've said before. This is someone who is in the process of making a decision one way or another, whether it's worth it for them or not. And you're just kind of waiting, you know. I think you have certain expectations, or like your values are this one thing, their values are something else. What you're operating out of, what you think they're going to make decisions out of, you're like, well, why wouldn't you? Because this is what we believe. And I don't think that they have that same belief system, because as much as you look happy with what the dynamics are, this person's situation, not so much. And maybe you don't even understand that, or maybe the way that they approached you made it seem completely different than what it actually is. And now that time is moving, it's starting to reveal someone who's not, again, doesn't have the same type of commitment that you originally had hoped for or expected. But that's just because their emotions, their feelings are all over the place. And it might not even be specifically about you. I feel like this is kind of like whatever they're dealing with in their own life. Seeing something clearly, kind of having some revelations coming through 100% that are making them super emotional. And so you just might be someone that all these emotions are coming out of. I feel like, again, this, whatever their decision is to kind of walk away or create more boundaries between you and them, it's not specifically about you, but you become collateral damage, unfortunately. And I think that what I'm seeing for this week is you're waking up to this, or you're seeing this, or Spirit's kind of like bringing in some hints of like, hey, either this is a pattern, or you know, you've kind of been down this road before with this person, individual, and now you're seeing those signs again. It is, I love this. You saw me shuffle. Child of the universe. That energy is all about stepping into your power. It is about going through the harder things that end up refining us, that yes, can be painful, but at the same time, they end up making us stronger. They put us in alignment with what we actually want, the types of people, relationships that we want in our life. And yeah, it sucks when we're leaving things behind, or we feel rejected, or someone doesn't want to invest in us anymore, but it's not about you, right? And that's exactly what this is saying. It's about kind of like whatever they're dealing with on the other side of things that they're not necessarily telling you about or revealing to you about, and maybe you don't even need to know, right? It's just part of the way life is falling into place. It's the way that your empowerment is actually coming through. There is a natural order to things. And as much as this person's situation served its purpose for you for a period of time, helping support you, getting you through maybe some tough things, now it's time to kind of like detach a little bit, create your own autonomy, and figure out what your wants and needs are. And this is also kind of like that deeper value of connecting with people and situations that have the same morals and values. People who like are on the same wavelength when it comes to relationships and commitment, and not just people who are going to be a little bit fly by night. I think, again, there's something around this where you've had these intuitive hints along the way. It's been a little disheartening, but at the same time, like, I don't think you're completely shocked. I feel like it's just more like disappointment that you wanted this to be better that you had high hopes for this and it's just not panning out how you thought it was. So take care of yourself, give yourself lots of love, pay attention to you, your heart this week, really love on yourself, lots of love, lots of self-care, whatever you can do to just kind of support yourself through this. It's going to give you answers that maybe feel hidden or uncertain in this moment. I think you're going to be able to see some of this disconnect in this other with this person dynamic a little bit easier, and it's going to make the transition a little bit more peaceful. So I hope this helped, Taurus. I'm so sorry it was a little heavy. It's kind of just the theme right now, relationships, wah. But I hope it helped. I hope you found messages that resonated for you here. Definitely drop comments below if you did. I love to hear or just say hey, share in a little love, a little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support that you bring to the channel. No, I'm sending it back your way.